Hey, it's Robert, and this is soloparent.tv. A few days after my divorce was final, I remember doing something a little bit odd for my character. I'm not a violent person, I'm not an angry person at all, but a few days after the divorce was final, I found myself, after a conversation with my mom suggesting this kind of thing, gathering up pictures of my ex and myself, and some dishes and some plates that we bought together in Italy. Then I went outside and dug up a rose bush that she tended to. Because you see, at this time, and when you go through divorce, it's this weird experience of like feeling relieved because what you've gone through and this traumatic thing that it's gone on for, seemingly, for me at least, a long time is over. So there's a sense of release and relief. But there's also this terrible sense of pain and anger. And so what I did was this. I gathered those things together, the pictures, the plates, the rose bushes, and I went outside and I turned on the grill and threw the pictures and some poems and stuff like that and let it burn. Then I took the rose bush and I threw it in there as well. Went it up in blazes, set it all on fire. Then I took an old pillowcase and I filled it with some of the plates and some of the artifacts that we bought in Italy. And it's just hard for me to believe I did this because it's just so unlike me. But I put them all in this pillowcase, and I took it out to the garage on the cement, and I just said a prayer, and just basically said, "It's over, and I'm breaking this stuff. And thank you, Lord, for new beginnings." And I shattered everything on the ground. It was a weird sense of relief. The idea was this, that my mom said, she was a therapist, and she said it's important to recognize pain and recognize anger and create a memorial for it, in a sense, a breaking away. So what I want to talk about in this is the idea of it's okay to have anger, it's okay to have frustration, and unless you have a healthy way of letting it out. In my case, it was doing something in the confines of my own home while I was alone, symbolically burning what our past was, breaking memories that we had had, letting anger out and just addressing it full on in all of its ugliness. If we don't address it in a constructive way or in a safe way, that it will come out in patterns in our life. One of the things that was remarkable about this experience is one of the things that I took along with all the plates and everything was this very beautiful piece of glass that I bought in Laguna Beach. It was special to me because I love collecting glass. I think it's beautiful. I don't know why. It's a little weird, but I just think there's something really beautiful in glass, especially the heavy ones. And on my first date with my ex, I found this little tiny vase, and it was heavy glass. It was lead glass. And I thought, well, that's about the most, something that I wanted to hold on to the most. But I felt like compelled that I needed to break that too. So I took that in its own pillowcase and I took it out to the garage. And it was at that time I'm like, okay, God, I'm just doing this because I'm surrendering this to you. I'm smashing my past. And I threw it down on the concrete as hard as I could, but I didn't hear anything crack. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was weird. I know it was a heavy glass, but I bent down and I opened up the pillowcase, and there was the vase, completely intact. It had a few scratches on it, but it didn't bust in half. It didn't even chip. This is me throwing this down on the ground. In fact, I have it here. It's this vase right here. It's weird. It didn't shatter. You could hardly tell if there was anything on it. And what this symbolized to me was God saying, you're surrendering this over to me, Robert. You're giving this over. You're willing to let it go. You're willing to smash it, to get rid of it, and to move on, to close this chapter. And I'm telling you that the thing that you feel most precious about, the thing that's most important to you, I will protect. So my encouragement for you today is, if you don't have a healthy way of letting out anger, find that way. Whether it's, hitting a pillow or boxing or kickboxing or what, some of these classes, letting the aggression out, because if not, they come up in destructive ways throughout our lives. And remember that God knows what's going on, and He will protect that which is most important to you. So I don't know if that means anything to you or not, but I would encourage you that if there are things that you are feeling frustrated or angry, don't be afraid to let your anger out. Just do it in a constructive way and trust God that the things that are most important to you, He will keep intact. That's my story for you today. I hope you have a good day. Remember, you're not alone. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.